Hey Zombros fans, welcome back to some Zombros action. Not really though. It's Lux Crew. It's Tuesday. You knew it was coming. How we
No, no,
all
no. This
doing?
is Zombros. We're taking their jobs right now.
Yeah, sad Grumpy Reed makes it so that way we have some job openings and opportunities where we could just replace Sad Austin 27.
Sad Austin 27.
I am your first host, Lux, as you would probably know by now. And I'm joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, Zenithal. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing pretty good.
We were just in the pre-show talking about Elgatos and stuff like that, which is fun and getting good information ahead of time, which is great
Yeah.
for me. And then Delta is here. Not entirely sure where, but like
He
he's around
went
here.
he's here but nowhere.
Yeah, he's anywhere but here, nowhere but there.
Oh.
I can make all the jokes. So,
Him with the puns.
yeah. So, today's sort of topic was brought to you in part by Zombros. I joke you not. Me, Delta, and some other good old zombie people and people from the community were in the Zombros chat, and we were having a bit of a discussion, bit of a chat, you know. We were chatting and discussing whether or not, like, what the opinions and things are about Black Ops 4 Zombies at this point, and Black Ops 4 as a whole, and how we sort of feel about things that have gone on, and what makes us that way we are still playing this game and wanting to actually still have this game. So I want to start out with this question to you first, Zen.
Hmm.
What is your general, like, we've had the game for going on 2 months now. What would you say is your sort of, like, if you were a Metacritic or like one of those sort of critic review things, what would you say your score for Black Ops 4 would be?
Honestly, I'm very easily pleased, so I'm not the best person to ask about this. I'd say now that they fixed the blue screens, I'd say this is actually a pretty good game. I don't understand a lot of the hate for it. I do get that the blue screens were a problem, yes. But honestly, they fixed that. It's all good now, and everything is just fine.
Right?
Um, so I'd give it like a 9 out of 10. Yeah.
Fair enough. And so, what would you say is your most played game mode at this current moment? If you were to take a
At
guess.
this current moment, my most played game mode is multiplayer. I've been playing knife only kind of stuff. And it's been really fun. Because I don't like shooting. It's not that fun to me. But in multiplayer, I just got the gold combat knife, and that was really cool. And yeah.
Fair enough. So, and then what would you say is your least played game mode?
Ooh. Well, I know it's Blackout because I like Blackout, but I just haven't had time to play it as much.
All
Like
right.
I just make more time for multiplayer and zombies.
Fair enough.
I'd say overall, like it's Blackout, but like recently it's been zombies, just because really I don't know. It's been like I think I've burned out on zombies a little bit, and I need to kind of
Take a break.
yeah. That's why I've been doing so much multiplayer. Like on my main account, I'm I think third prestige, fourth prestige, and on my like in like multiplayer, and then on my secondary account where I'm knifing only, I am second prestige level 38.
Jeez, dude. You make me look like
I
I
just
don't, you make me look like I hate the multiplayer because I think I'm not even like level 10 in the very first leveling like state.
yeah.
I haven't prestiged a single time. I'm nowhere near prestiging.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of multiplayer, and I didn't even get the permanent unlock token you got from the beta for reaching like 38 or whatever.
Right.
I don't know what level you got it at, but I didn't even get that. So I
Right.
had to literally whack people with the strife in order to get
The stiletto knife.
stiletto knife, the stiletto knife
Yeah.
attachment. These knives only does this kind of stuff, and he inspired me to do this.
Fair enough.
He's a really good YouTuber. Watch him.
Quick shout outs. Yeah, for me, I can safely and confidently say that the game mode I have the most amount of playtime in is definitely Blackout, and then Zombies, and then multiplayer. For me, the reason I don't play a whole lot of multiplayer isn't because I don't like the multiplayer. It's that I just like there isn't a whole lot to it that I'm like, oh, this is crazy new fun stuff that I haven't. For me, it's like I've done this same sort of grind fest of multiplayers for like the last fucking forever. Oh, for fuck's sake. Um, so for me, I just get kind of bored of doing the exact same like 2, 3 game modes, as it were. Like I know
Hmm.
that's also in a way sort of hypocritical in the sense that like well, Blackout's just the same game mode each and every single time, and so is Zombies. But at the same time, for me, it's like MP is like I don't really play a whole lot of the different game modes because I don't find most of the game modes all that fun to play.
Well, they
But
have playlists where you can like mix it up every time.
yeah, I know. But it's also like just generally I get way too upset way too fast about how people play multiplayer.
Oh yeah, like campers and like
Yeah.
people use OP weapons, and I get that. I get that.
Yeah. So, and like even like when World War II was the game of the time, I played that multiplayer a decent amount, but I just genuinely enjoyed that because all I played with that though was war. So I just played war mode every
War was
single
fun.
time. Yeah,
I remember War, yeah.
because then you playing that is a completely different beast. And if Black Ops 4 had a game mode similar to that, then I would totally play that. But it doesn't. So
Well, because it's hard to make War. It'd be like if I don't know. War is like its own mode. Like
yeah, totally.
I think that belongs to Sledgehammer. It's like when zombies first came out and only Treyarch made zombies.
But I don't necessarily agree with that though because is like Treyarch had a game mode. I think they either called it War or it might have been called Ground War. Uh, in World at War that was really really good actually. It was a very odd sort of concept, but it was actually a pretty damn good game mode. Because all it was like, um, it was kind of like capture the flag, but instead of capturing certain flags, it was more like domination mixed with capture the flag, and each
Yeah, I know you're
team,
talking about. I remember that from World at War.
yeah, each team would get like little boosts and stuff if they were behind or whatever. Like that was a super fun game mode. It was odd in concept, but it was really fun.
Yeah, I remember that game mode. It confused me. I didn't play it that much. I remember like my least favorite memory from World at War was the first. It was the first time I ever played hardcore ever. This one dude decides to basically we're playing capture the flag hardcore.
Right.
I'm about to grab the flag. He TKs me. My teammate fucking TKs me,
Yeah.
and then he grabs the flag. I'm like, bruh.
Yeah.
And I was like a little kid at the time. Like I was like 11. Maybe I was 13.
Yeah.
I forget how old I was. Basically, I was of a very young age.
Fair
So like
enough.
I was more confused than angry though.
Yeah. And then so for me like I just my general opinion of Black Ops 4 as a whole is that it has a lot of potential when it comes to the future for zombies, Blackout, and MP if they actually decide to do things that will change up their base game. Like David Vonderhaar has hinted at doing Blackout where it's actually taking place at night and you can't see very far in front of you, which makes me go, okay, I'm excited for the future of that. And then there's like, there's that. There's also in Zombies, I'm really hopeful and excited to see what Treyarch does with the Chaos story, but at the same time, I'm also very, very cautious about it because I
Oh
don't
yeah.
feel like they give, thus far, I don't feel like they're giving the Chaos story enough attention and do sort of like, I was gonna say due process, but that's definitely not the term.
That's not the right. Yeah.
But like do sort of like attention and caring, right? Like I genuinely still feel like the entirety of Black Ops 4 zombies and zombies right now is just still like we care about premise, and anything else is like it's there. It's just a
I mean,
side
the
thing
first
though.
DLC map is Chaos.
Is it?
Yeah, dude, the leaks.
I don't look at leaks, so I have no idea.
Oh, I won't tell you then. I won't tell you then.
I have heard like the thing that says oh it's gonna be mansion, but
Yeah, it's gonna be Mansion. It's gonna be Chaos Crew. It's like a prequel to 9 and shit.
which that sounds super cool. I've heard some people that were talking and well, it wasn't I was hearing people. I was in a game with Kingdom Hops and I believe Juan was in it as well, and we were all talking about the stuff, and we were talking ideas for that map because that one's just one you, even if you don't pay attention to leaks like me, you still knew about it because people were not shutting up
It
about
was
it.
all over the freaking internet. Like,
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
we were theorizing that maybe it'd be like Alistair and like some of his like
That's what I
buddies
was
and
thinking.
stuff.
Like Alistair is one of the characters you play as.
Yeah, and some of his like buddies and stuff. So
Like maybe Bruno's one of them because he did say he witnessed firsthand this kind of stuff.
yeah, exactly. So I think that would be cool. But in general, I just hope that like here's my honest hope when it comes to zombies is that Treyarch needs to let go of premise and like so this is the one thing that me and Delta agreed upon and many other people agreed upon in the chat of Zombros is we think that zombies as a whole needs to be rebooted, but me and Delta don't agree on how it should be rebooted because Delta thinks that we should do a completely new story but still with premise and stuff like that.
No.
I think that we need to completely not throw it aside, but stop making premise, stop making Ultimus, and stop making Victus stories. Do nothing
I
more with
think
the Ether. End the Ether at
I,
the end of Black Ops 4.
I'm gonna go with in between. We need a like swan song ending, Power Rangers fan, but like Power Rangers in space style ending where like everything is like finally over everything is over and done with.
Yeah,
Which I don't know if they've set it up that way yet, which is the problem.
yeah, and that's my biggest issue is that it just seems like they're just gonna keep doing this repetitive shit of just being like, premise is still here. We're banking on your nostalgia and love for these characters.
It works for me, like honestly, they're fooling me with it. Not fooling, but I'm falling for it.
Yeah, and that's the thing is most people are, and if it works for them, which it does, then they have no reason to not care or not do it. So, but my thing is I kind of agree. It's we need some sort of swan song or something to end their sort of their story, but I want zombies as a whole to carry on, but not with the Ether
Not with
story.
the Ether, yeah.
Like I
Ether
don't
8.
I don't even want to see just Primus retire and then have, Ultimus keep going. No, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Victus go on another 30 million adventures either. I just want to see the Chaos Crew get handed the torch. I want to see the Ether storyline take a step back and be like, okay, we're retiring at the top of our game. Let's hand it over to the new guys.
I mean, uh I feel like if they do that, they're gonna end up cracking and making the stories connected.
That's my thing too though is that it's not likely that they're just gonna completely like Blundell said, yeah, the stories aren't connected, but if you pay attention to like Black Ops 4 stuff, you'll know that the two are technically connected because of Blackout first off, and second off, you have lots of shit that carries over from game to game to game.
Oh, didn't you notice that like they like reuse a lot of the same lines for at least Scarlet? Like Scarlet uses a lot of Dempsey's lines.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I can't remember the ones on the top of my head, but she does say a lot of his
yep,
lines.
she
Like
sure does.
slack skin instead of slack jaw. Like
Yeah,
what?
it's pretty crazy. So and so getting back to the topic of like played modes and why a modes that aren't played. For me, I whenever I play zombies, I play Chaos Crew because I play I played classified way too much when the game first launched, and
Yeah.
I don't mind blood at this point. Like I don't absolutely hate it with a passion, and I'm not gonna give away my blood poster anymore. I've grown up a little bit of my hatred of blood, but I still don't like it enough to want to play it every single day or even play it every single time I play
Dude,
zombies.
I have all three of those posters on my wall. I'm not giving away any of those.
Um, and then, and even when it comes to zombies, usually I'm playing in solo and I'm playing with bots
Yeah.
and I'm just playing to get some rounds and or do sort of like recently. Every time I've been playing zombies, I've been playing and using the strife mostly, so I could get the stiletto knife attachment. So that way, whenever DLC 1, 2, all those other new maps and shit come out, I can
Yeah.
have that for my loadout and shit.
It's a one knife till level 4. That's the best thing about it.
Exactly. So that and
Yeah,
that's
I have it.
that's
It's
that's
so
why
good.
that's what I've been doing. But like I did that 2 days ago or yesterday, or sometime fairly recently. But honestly, I play Blackout almost every single day, not only just for tier skipping, but like because of the fact I genuinely actually enjoy loading up Blackout, even if I'm not playing with friends. But I almost always am playing with at least one buddy, and we're playing
Yeah.
Blackout, and we're like usually we don't get victories. I've gotten 2 victories since the game came out. I got one in
I've gotten like a shit ton of tops where like
yeah.
I'm in like the top for like whatever
Yeah, I
top
get
whatever
placement. I
for
get placement almost every single game, or just outside of
yeah,
placement.
same. But like I haven't gotten a single dub yet. It sucks.
I have a solo victory and I have a quad victory. The quad victory I had 0 kills and the team kind of carried me. I say they kind of carried me because they did all the killing and stuff, but I was the one that was basically the lamb to the slaughter. I was flying a helicopter around and just making it so people would reveal their own location to my
Oh, you're like the
teammates.
bait.
Exactly. Exactly. And then my
Yeah,
solo
yeah.
victory, which I uploaded to the channel,
Yeah.
was me camping my ass off, and then the 2 last guys killing each other, and me just hiding in a fucking in the last building in the
Wait,
last
they
circle.
traded.
Yeah, they traded, and I got the victory. We were in final circle. We were in the final white circle, so the next circle would have been there is no circle, and the blue will just encompass the whole map.
The collapse, yeah.
Yeah, and I was in the last building I was in the last like half of a building that was in the last white circle before the full collapse. And these one guy had a ray gun and the other guy just had a normal like I think ICR or something like that, and they just traded. And then all of a sudden I get the victory screen and I'm like, "Woo! Okay. I'll take
Don't know what
that."
just happened, but I'll take it.
Exactly. It was fucking great.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, my victories so far have been straight cheese. Um I'm really upset though at David Vondahar in particular and the Blackout team because yesterday I was playing and this is a clip that has been uploaded to my YouTube on unlisted because I gotta like edit it down because another thing
Yeah.
about it is I always whenever I do PlayStation gameplays to things to make them for videos and stuff I always like I do the how your PlayStation has a setting where it's like how long do you want your video clips to be.
You said it's like an hour.
Yeah, I set it to an hour, so I gotta edit the video down because it was just like literally like the last 10 minutes before I saved the video clip and uploaded it. But so I got Scarlett's goggles and shit, like the item for her
Oh,
character challenge, and then there's literal gameplay footage of me running someone over and then getting
and
away
downing them.
and then
Did they
losing.
get revived? Did they get rezzed?
I have no idea, but that's not what the character challenge says. The character challenge just says
I know, but if
down
they
an
get
enemy
res, you gotta
with.
finish them off. You gotta finish them
That's
off.
stupid. I figured that's what it was, but I was like, literally, the challenge just says down an enemy with a vehicle, and I did
They
it.
think it's a. Everyone thinks it's a glitch because, like, since in the other game modes since in solos it's kill.
Right. But the
It's
difference
kind
with
of it's
those,
kind of mixing up the game modes a little bit.
yeah, but that's exactly because we were playing in duos, me and my buddy, and he got the like he didn't unlock the skin, but he unlocked the or he had the item too. He died before I ran over the person, but anyway, I was just upset about it because I'm like it says down them, and yeah, if you're in
Yeah, the
and
same
that's the
thing
thing in
happened to
this
me twice.
and that's the thing in solo too though is like there is no distinction between downing somebody and killing them because as soon as you've put enough
It'll say
bullets into them,
kill
they're
them.
insta
It'll say
dead.
kill them in solos.
Yeah,
I've
but
had the goggles in solos.
yeah, but that's the thing in solos though, is there is no
You
down
can't
state in
down someone in
solos.
solos.
Exactly. Versus in duos and quads, you can down people, so it's like, okay. And that's what it
Yeah, it's
says.
easier. It's easiest to get the goggles in solos, or not get the goggles, but get Scarlet in solos.
Well, yeah, that's because there's less people that are specifically like teaming and
Well,
stuff.
also because you can just. That's also because you can just run them over.
Yeah, there's more targets to run over. Cause yeah, that was my other
And
thing. I
because
was like, so if
you
I
don't
just
worry
run
about
over my
downing or killing
teammate,
them.
will that work?
You just run them over and then you're done. Like they just die.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why it's easiest to do in solos.
But yeah, I got really upset about it because literally my my fiance was there watching me play too, and she watched it
Uh,
live right behind me, and I was like, and after I ran him over, I was like, "Let's go, boys!" And then it didn't unlock at the end of it, and I was very
yeah, that's what you
upset.
gotta check the check mark. Like see if like, the box
I
is
did,
checked.
I did, and it said it wasn't completed, and I was like, "Oh boy, maybe it's a glitch. I don't know." And then at the end of the game,
You
it wasn't
gotta
there. I was like,
if
"Shit!"
it's not checked, you didn't get it.
I know, I know. I was
Yeah,
so
you
upset.
gotta have that mentality because like that's how I unlocked Crash. Like I had to check this. I had to make sure I was in the top whatever.
Well, see
I forget how.
that's the weird thing about Blackout too. So I unlocked Crash completely by not doing things. So here's what happened when I unlocked Crash. I was playing duos with the guy I usually play Blackout with. I found the poker chips and died. He took the poker chips off of my body.
Did your body have 15 or more healing items?
Yeah, my body always has more than 15 healing items.
Okay,
I'm a
because
vacuum.
it doesn't matter if you die before making it to the top. I think it's 8 for duos. It just matters if your teammate makes it to the top 8.
Well, see, that's the thing though, is he picks it up and he gets it too. So he picked it up and he finished the game with that. And I was like, and then I was like, well, you'll get it for sure. And then after the game was done, I saw that I got it too. I was like, hello?
Yeah, that's because he was able to make it to the top 8. So you both got it since you both died with it in your inventory.
Yeah. But yeah, I was very
That it's a
confused about
strategy
it.
people use. People will kill themselves and then let their teammate pick up their character item because technically they died with the item in their inventory.
Yeah, so that way then they can both unlock the character instead of having two people have to do it.
Yeah, do the quest at the same time. It's because that's annoying.
Yeah.
Right now, I have only specialist characters unlocked, but I besides Hudson, of course.
I
But
don't
I
even have
have
Hudson. I have the Ranger
I
because
bought
I'm
my way up
level.
to Hudson. I'm ashamed of myself, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I got the Ranger, I got the Shadow Man for pre-ordering, and then I got Firebreak,
I
Ajax, Crash, and Torque.
I have Ajax, Ruin, Pork, and Crash.
Did you just call Torque pork instead of Torque?
I said Torque.
Oh,
I said Torque.
I thought you said pork. I was like, nice.
No, I said Torque. It's Torquey Torque, if you want to call him by his nickname.
I love Torque. Torque is actually one of my favorite specialist characters.
My favorite is Ruin, just because like in like the specialist HQ, the scene where like he jumps out the window and grab slams the SWAT team.
Oh yeah, that was super cool. I like
It
playing
was
as Ruin
awesome.
in MP because of as when you kill people, he says the word schwacked. It's like the funniest thing ever.
It's short for bushwhacked. I found that out recently. Cause battery says bushwhacked. I'm guessing schwacked is like short for that.
I guess.
Because Battery and Ruin are like best friends.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's one of the cool things that I actually genuinely did enjoy about this game as a whole is the specialist HQ that does give you the backstory and stuff behind Blackout and like the legacy characters in the black or the icon characters being
Yeah.
involved and stuff. Like I like that. I like the backstory. I like all that stuff. So that was good. And in general, I
And
feel
like I
like
do like how Ripper or whatever the specialist from Black Ops 3 overall
Spectre.
name was, I freak Spectre.
Yeah.
I do like how they finally tell us who Spectre is, and that's pretty sick.
Yeah, right. So I thought Specialist HQ was actually one of my favorite modes, even though it's just a tutorial mode. But like
Yeah,
at the
I
same
know.
time, I loved that. And I
I
think
can't believe Wood said that was lit AF.
right,
That was the weirdest part of the whole entire thing.
totally. But yeah, I think all in all, the Black Ops 4 is a very, very, very highly potential game, but it's just a matter of them getting there first, because that's the other issue. Is like this is an issue that comes up in Smite, a game I play it constantly as well. It's a MOBA, so it's like you start off really, really weak as shit, and then if you get to the late game, you become really overpowered. That's what I feel like Black Ops 4 is right now we're in a period where it's not that amazing. Like it's not bad, but it's not great either. But if it can make it to the late sort of development cycle where, you know, it actually can have new game modes and actually have new stuff coming out before we all just finish it off by crucifying it more, then maybe it can have a chance at being really, really, really great. But right now, as
Yeah.
it stands, I just feel like it's very, very what's the word? Um, no, not temperamental. It's very dependent upon the player's experience specific to them, because I've seen plenty of people being like, I've not really experienced a whole lot of blue screens and I don't really understand the hate because I haven't seen a lot of the stuff that people are complaining about. And it's like, well, that's great
Right.
for you, but
Yeah, I got you.
because yeah, for me, like I'm genuinely enjoying Blackout because I don't really have issues with Blackout. The only times I have an issue with Blackout is like the really, really odd deaths that don't make sense, but those are few and far between for me. And then like anytime I do play MP, I don't mind it. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but it's not bad either. Like I was playing MP the other day, yesterday
Yeah.
actually, and I didn't mind it at all. I was like, this isn't bad, actually.
Yeah, it's a fun game mode.
Um, so getting into the topic that me and Delta sort of were debating in the Zombros chat is
Here we go.
with Black Ops 4 the way that it currently is, and with all the issues that have come up, do we think that it is fair to make the assessment that people hating on previous games the way that they did and only praising Treyarch when those games were out is justified?
I mean, people are still playing Black Ops 4, and when World War II came out, no one, like barely anyone played World War II zombies after when the first DLC came out. Like, if you get what I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
World War II, the hype died really fast.
Right.
Black Ops 4, it's been like you said almost 2 months,
Right.
and I feel like it's still pretty strong. It's probably dying a little bit, but I don't think it's gonna die full on. So I'm gonna say I think it's not fair that we hated on the other games, but I still think Treyarch is the best at making zombies.
So this is what sort of came up when it came to this discussion in the Zombros chat. Was I'm of the opinion that at this current state and moment, because of how it seems to be that zombies is still focused on premise, even though there's a very, very large, or even it's not necessarily fair to say large because we don't even know the number of people that play zombies every day, but there's a vocal group of people that have clearly and loudly said we don't want more premise focus. We've exhausted that well. Let's move on to other things, or let's do some other things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as I previously just stated, it doesn't seem like they're focusing enough on the Chaos Crew. So and here's the one thing that I always had as something I will always praise Sledgehammer World War II zombies for, that I never really particularly liked about Treyarch after Black Ops 1 was
Hmm.
that, well, not necessarily after Black Ops 1. It was more like Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. This is more so the issue. Um, and then I guess it is in certain maps of Black Ops 2 as well. But it's that the gun consistency actually makes sense because, like, World War II zombies, the only guns you're using are World War II based. Yes, there's a few sci-fi guns in there, like the Tesla gun and the Ripsaw and the Wonder Weapons, but those are the sci-fi ones that you can kind of put aside. Whereas you look at Black Ops
Mm-hmm.
3 and you're still being set in like Dreisendrach, right? Set in the Second World War, or the Second World War is still going on, but you're getting the MP guns. And yes, it's because of the fact that it's because of that MP and all that stuff. But it's just like, why do you have that as a very, very large gross inconsistency?
Because it would be very hard to have a box full of completely different guns.
But is it though? Because we're seeing that they
Two
can
had
we
World War
can
II guns to begin with.
but we're seeing it right now that they are doing it with MP40 being in the box, and like the fact that they remastered, well, not necessarily remastered, but released guns like the PPSH and the HG40, which is just the MP40 in Black Ops 3, and then they had to add it into later maps and stuff.
Hmm.
So it's like they can do it. It's just a
Yeah, but
matter of,
not like they can't fill the box with all those weapons because that would mean having them. That would mean like having to do like way too much work for like That's a lot more work than you realize, dude. Because
oh, I know
like
it's a lot of work, but it's just one of those
you're
things that
you're praising Sledgehammer for putting the games that were putting resources that were already there into zombies.
yeah, but that's the
When
thing is at
in
least they're
Black Ops
consistent.
3 and Black Ops 4, the World War II guns, they're not like already there. They have to make those separately.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, right? Is Treyarch has made it work previously. Case in point being Black Ops 1 and the Victus side of Black Ops 2, you had guns that were consistent to the era as far as what they laid out. So in Black Ops 1, you had the M16 in the box, you had the AUG, you had the Galil, you had the AK-47, you had guns that were consistent to that era, and they said, okay, we've time traveled to the 60s. Like maps like Kino and Ascension take place in the 60s.
So does
See,
Black Ops 1.
that's what I'm saying. Black Ops 1 as a whole for the maps were consistent, and they utilized the fact that they're like, okay, we're gonna have gun assets that aren't true to our normal era that we've set out for zombies. Let's say that the crew travels in time to the 60s so that the gun consistency makes sense. And then in Black Ops 2, the maps were set in 2025 or whatever that era was for the MP as well, so all the guns you were seeing had consistency. But then you got every map that Jason Blundell has ever released only having maybe one or two guns that are consistent with the era, and then the rest of the guns make no sense consistency wise.
I think you're nitpicking a little bit, honestly.
Well, for me, it's not really that big of a deal. It's just something I will definitely praise Sledgehammer for because of the fact that they're sticking to that, and I will praise early Treyarch
They
for
did it
because
for one
consistency.
game, dude. Like
They
what you
did it
could
in
say the same
Advanced
thing about
Warfare too,
Treyarch and
though.
World at War.
They did it in
Advanced
Advanced Warfare,
Warfare
though.
doesn't count because it's not transition. It's not
Yeah, I
Exo
know.
Zombies into World War II.
Agreed.
That
But
doesn't count.
and that's why I'm saying that Black Ops 1 and World at War and even the Victus side of Black Ops 2 did it as well. Is I will praise consistency from any developer. But it's something that I feel is very, very odd in this
Well,
regard.
when the game started taking place in the future, that's when they and then the map started taking place not in the future because that's not the direction they want to go with the story. Remember, the story and the zombies are written by two different people.
Yeah, that's fair. But here's
Like
the
the
other
person who
weird thing
decides what
about it.
guns, the
Here's
person who decides what guns are in the game isn't Jason Blundell. He has to go with it.
yeah, that's fair. But at the same time, it's even worse now though because we're getting further apart because now we have our guns being, they're like 2040 somewhere in that realm. They're before Black Ops 3 but after Black Ops 2. But then we have maps like Voyage that are taking place in 1917 that happened, right?
Well, it's magic, dude. It's magic. It doesn't need an explanation. That's all I can say.
And yeah, that's definitely a nitpicky detail. It's just something I will always praise. But for me, the biggest issue that I have with Black Ops 4 isn't necessarily that consistency. It's more that it's just there's a lot more that I have to sit there and specifically suspend my disbelief and be like, okay, I guess that's a thing. Like even in Gorod Krovi, right? Everyone praised Gorod for being a great map and stuff. But if you actually know anything about Stalingrad from the era or even
Yeah, because it's
today,
supposed to be called Leningrad, or at least Nikolai is supposed to call it Leningrad because he's from World War One.
yeah, well, no, and that's not even the thing I'm going with here though. It's just in general, like you if you actually know like the like look at pictures of Stalingrad or any of the grads that they have because it keeps changing names. If you look at any
Yeah.
photos of it, it looks nothing. The only thing that is similar in what Treyarch did in Gorod Krovi to actual Stalingrad is the spawn fountain. Everything else is not accurate in the slightest to real life Stalingrad at all. And then so you have completely separate map that is completely inaccurate apart from a fountain. And then you get, okay, let's add the giant mech of Nikolai and dragons everywhere. And I'm just kind of sat there like, okay, I can completely say, okay, you're just going off of a fictitious version of Stalingrad, and I can
It is an
I could
alternate
do that.
universe, by the way. Gotta remember that.
Yeah, exactly. So I can be like, that's fair. But then, so if you have a completely alternate version of Stalingrad that looks nothing alike apart from the fountain, I can do that. But when you start adding dragons and giant mechs that aren't even close to accurate for the era, like even now we don't have those giant mechs,
No,
I'm a
but
little
again,
bit like,
alternate
what has
dimension, group
happened?
935, and all that shit.
Agreed. But that's the thing, is that's my point, is I have to do a lot more suspension of disbelief with Treyarch zombies than I ever have to do with any other zombies. Like even
Oh,
freaking
because
Infinite Warfare
okay,
has less suspension of disbelief.
every other zombies has been a one game thing. Treyarch zombies has been going on for how long?
Yeah, a decade, but that's not that. For me, that doesn't help or provide any evidence to going
No,
against
it
me. It
means that
means that
they've
Treyarch
been
should be
writing, they've been
better at
pulling this shit,
consistency.
they've been pulling this shit out of their ass for a decade. Like, imagine writing the same story for over a decade.
But that's not my problem for them to have to be doing this. I've said numerous times, and I have plenty of
That's
different theories as to how they could have closed off their stories numerous times throughout the years, and then they didn't, which is fine. But if they're gonna keep just like it's almost like Jason and the team are trying to push our buttons to see where we'll snap and be like, this is bullshit. There's no suspending the disbelief at this point. Like it's almost like they're trying to push it and see where that line is for the community. And a lot of the time, the community is just like, it's fine, we can keep doing this.
Because but we said that with a sigh.
Exactly, and that's my thing. Is like, we should stop sighing and be like, yeah, I guess this is fine because it's Treyarch. Because that's my biggest gripe with the community as a whole is a lot of the things that people will crucify every other developer for that has been doing zombies for far less time than Treyarch. They won't care if Treyarch does something similar. Like,
yes, that's what we've noticed. By the way, hello.
hi Delta.
Yeah, Delta's been here. I've been trying to like find a pause to like say, "Hey, Delta," but then like there was none.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
heard
Lux
Voyage
doesn't show
at
up.
the first thing I heard when I came in here was Voyage, and then I was just like, fuck that.
But like, so
Oh,
like
Jesus Christ.
a good
Oh boy.
oh boy, here I go killing again. A good example of this is there was a recent tweet done by your boy Codename Pizza. I love him to death, and I definitely don't dislike him in the slightest. But I retweeted or retweet with a comment, whatever the fucking term is. I don't know.
Replied.
Yeah,
Retreaded.
yeah, I didn't reply, but I like retweeted with a comment, and it was, let's see. So Pizza said, all I'm seeing is people complain about Black Ops 4. Yes, Treyarch has made a few mistakes, but they've clearly been working hard to rectify all the issues. I love the game and the zombies maps. They're also different. There's a map for each type of player. He's got the upside down, like, happy face, and then the pizza emoji, because of course. To which I said, of course, because it's Treyarch, it's just, in quotations, a few mistakes, unquote. When every other dev gets crucified by everyone and YouTubers for pretty much everything.
Well, I mean, Pizza didn't crucify IW.
Yeah, but
Pizza defended IW a lot. He loves IW zombies.
that's true. And that's the thing, though, is that this is the weirdest thing about our community, is that people will crucify a World War II and IW and Exos and Extinction, even though there's actually a decent fan base of every single one of those. But like most of those people just tend to sort of stay quiet about it because they're just kind of worried about, if anybody online says, hey, I really like this game that wasn't Treyarch, everyone else is just going to basically be like, what? You're not allowed to enjoy things.
Hey guys, I
Oh,
like Burger Town. What?
I hate Burger Town.
I
I hate Burger Town,
genuinely
too.
don't mind Burger
I think
Town.
it's better than Transit though.
It's better. Transit's better than Dire Eyes.
No, that is a
Fucking
false
Dire
truth.
Eyes.
That is a false truth, Carnage. You're lying to yourself.
Okay.
No,
So
dude, Dire Eyes made me quit zombies for a long time, dude.
this is
Don't
true. It
even
did.
start.
It
That's a
did make
false
him.
truth. Transit actually made you quit. I implemented that memory in your brain to make you think you hated Dyrus.
So here's a good way of kind of summing up how I sort of feel about it, guys. Is that I genuinely like this. This is the statement I was warning you about, Zen. Is that the only thing that prevents me from selling my Black Ops 4 and washing my hands of it all is the fact that I like Blackout and I'm hopeful for the Chaos story to actually get its fucking due justice and actual attention from Treyarch. If I get to like DLC 3, like, or no, okay, let's make this proper. If we go and we get to DLC 2, we pass through DLC 2, and we're starting to see trailers and stuff for DLC 3, and I'm still not liking the direction of the Chaos Crew, then I'm probably going to sell a Black Ops 4 unless Blackout keeps me coming.
Oh no! Oh no! Never thought I'd hear it.
And as Delta definitely saw, it's I definitely still will praise World War II's, not only zombies, but World War II as a whole, because I
Oh
was
god.
playing it the other day. Seriously.
Oh god.
I played war mode, and I was like, this is fun. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying watching these people go on the turrets and me sniping them in the face until my team goes and takes the objective, and then I come and join and we hold off. Like, I genuinely enjoyed that. Like, and I loaded up the Shadow Throne. I couldn't remember like half the fucking steps or where to find half the fucking items, but I genuinely enjoyed myself playing those maps. The only time I enjoy myself when I'm playing Treyarch Zombies now is if I'm playing like maps that I've always loved. Like if I load up Black Ops 3 and I play Verrucht, I'm gonna be good. If I play Shadows, I'm gonna be good. But I can't like if you or Delta was to come to me and be like, hey man, you wanna go and do like Blood of the Dead high rounds? I'd be like, no. No, I don't.
You hate high rounds to begin with.
I don't like high rounds because I don't have a high enough attention span to just sit there doing circles and stuff. But like when I'm playing with my friends, we can just goof off. Like if you were to come to me and
That's
say,
true.
"Hey, want to do high rounds on Voyage or 9?" I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, I guess." Unless we got really
Or
boring and we didn't do
classified.
anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Classify would be the map that I'd be like, maybe.
Do you want to classified Easter egg and try and get the cutscene?
No, no. I tried that one time. I tried it one time with Kingdom, and we were in a modded lobby and everything, and we fucking blue screened.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, what's the big deal?
So
What's
so
the deal with that?
so Delta, what
Treyarch?
so Delta, what was the comment that I made that made you quite triggered yesterday or the other day in Zombros?
Every comment you made triggered me that day. I swear to God, I was gonna go off. I was just like, "Are you shitting me?
Okay,
You're defending World War II, and I cannot agree with it."
so here's my thing, Delta, is Zen knows this because Zen was playing zombies with me at the time. The reason
Yeah.
I dislike Der Eisendrache, it's not to be a fucking hipster. I promise. The reason I dislike it is because I can fucking play the map blinded. Like that map became Kino der Toten for me. It's the same shit.
The Darkest Shore though is so bland and boring. Though.
Okay,
The story
I
don't help it for me. I don't play the maps primarily for the story. I play for the gameplay, so it would have turned me off immediately.
that is completely fair from that perspective. And
That's why I defend the game. I don't defend the gameplay aspect, but I will defend the story aspect because the story is pretty good.
yeah, see that's the thing about The Darkest Shore for me that I loved was that the story, well, not necessarily just the story, but the atmosphere that they set up and the stuff that they sort of did with The Darkest Shore was stuff that like, and I've said this on Zom Squad too, is that I love the atmosphere and the sort of tones that they set up of like having like the culty sort of vibe and this dark mysterious fucking island that most people have never heard of and up until this point, and then like all this kind of stuff, and you're just like, this is odd and I like it. And for me it was really rewarding because after I started to delve into it, I was like, oh my god, I love this. It's great. Plus it also has my favorite enemy type. The moisturers genuinely scare me, and that's saying a lot because I'm not very easily scared.
They don't. Okay, I don't know about me. I don't think they're very scary.
Yeah. Takes a lot to scare me.
Yes.
It takes a
These days.
decent amount to. Okay, saying it scares me is the wrong term. It's more like it genuinely creeps me the fuck out. In the sense that I'm just like, oh god, long ass tongues and wavy arms on your back. Like I don't know. I'm one of those people that I don't like if you ever watch movies that have lots of special effects on characters and stuff, and they're like supposed to be characters that have like bonded with the sea, like in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, right? And
Yeah.
I didn't care about Davy Jones. I don't really care about tentacle faces or anything like that. I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about like some of his crewmates that had like spider like legs and shit on their backs. That shit creeps me out. I
Oh
just
boy, got a phone call from
I don't I
Place.
don't I don't care about spiders. I don't mind spiders. I just don't like spidery sort of legs and like appendages on people's like backs or like
Ugh.
or like if a spider like lays down on its back and its appendages are just like fucking everywhere up facing the sky. Nope. That's a nope from me.
Yeah, that's a mega nope.
Yeah. But aside from that, plus in general, I just like the fact that it's just mostly depending on where you're playing in that map. Usually you're never even gonna see the fucking moisture, so you're just like fucking like all you hear is the fucking screaming and you're just like, ah, fuck.
Here he comes.
Especially when you're doing the fireplace steps in that map, you're just like, and if he and or two of them come out, you're just like, shit, I'm going to die.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah,
I forget what this is a reference from. Game over, man. Game Alien. There we go. Game
Yeah.
over, man. Game over.
yeah. But yeah, and then as far as like IW and defending IW, I didn't end up really enjoying IW very much because I don't know. I'm also this was something that me and Zen were sort of talking about as you were coming in, Delta, was that like I'm not a huge fan of this sort of idea of jumping from map to map to map to map that they're like huge color palette changes. They're huge, like very, very different, inconsistent sort of messes. I like consistency in stories and I like consistency in narratives, especially when it's like sequential. Like in World at War and Black Ops 1, each map, like even in when you went from Ascension to Shang, it didn't seem like it was that big of a shock of like, okay, we've gone from the Russian Cosmodrome to like the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you go from like GK to Dreisendrach, GK you got like oranges and like reds and browns and stuff like that, and then you go to Dreisendrach and you just got a lot of blue and white, and you're just like, ah.
Wait, you mean from Shadows to Dreisendrach?
Well, yeah, if you go from Shadows to Dreisendrach, then it's yellows and like reds and shit, and then you go to blue.
Yeah.
Versus like again, something I will praise World War II for. Every single map felt like it was in the exact same confined sort of narrative, universe, space, everything. Plus, here's a really weird interaction that I actually had with a guy. Right? There's a place near me that mostly just sells Funko Pops, but they do sell other things, but it's mostly just Funko Pops. They're like, your typical nerd sort of store. They don't sell comics or anything like that, but they just sell like
Mm.
they sell like superhero shirts and shit like that, that kind of shit. And I was talking
Right.
with one of the guys and he's that works there. He's a gamer. Uh and he's not really big into zombies, but he's pretty big into comics. And we were talking about using multiverses in like stories and stuff. And when I told him that Treyarch Zombies had a multiverse, he was so confused because he knew that like Treyarch Zombies had only been around since World at War, and this was just before World War II came out.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was when I told him that, he was like, why? For what reason do they have a multiverse being introduced into their what?
I think the purpose of it though was actually very simple.
Well, the purpose was the fact that they wrote themselves into a corner. Well, correction. Jimmy Zelensky was trying to close out his own goddamn story, and Jason Blundell wanted to create a completely separate story that still had everything connected and basically just take all of Jimmy's stuff and be like, that's where you're wrong, kiddo. All of the stuff you wrote sucks. I'm gonna rewrite it using characters that are the exact
some
same
of the
but
stuff he
different.
wrote did suck.
Some of the
Got
stuff,
to
yeah.
admit.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Zelensky, I loved his story actually.
I really liked his story too.
I think his
honestly.
story is better than Jason's.
I would agree with that.
Oh, Zen's disappointed.
I don't like the fucking Victus maps except for Buried.
Okay, Victus is no. That's a no-go for me.
Okay,
Ultimate
so
though, perfect.
Jimmy Zielinski wrote that. Just letting you guys know.
okay,
Okay,
but
I
here,
think Victus was okay.
here's the real thing then.
Horseman was cool though.
Because this is exactly what Delta was just talking about, basically, when he's talking about World War II. He wasn't into the story, he was more caring about the gameplay. Zen,
I didn't play it, but yeah, I cared more about the gameplay.
yeah, Zen, it seems to me, from what you're talking about and from what I've heard you say, is that it's more you didn't like Zelensky's maps except for Buried in Black Ops 2 because of the gameplay.
Yeah, I mean the story itself, like the characters, they were so underdeveloped until the comics. That was
So,
another thing. They were
and-
annoying as hell.
and this
Like
is
that was another problem I
here's
had.
the weird thing though, is that Reed touched on this as to one of the things that might have affected that, and one of the reasons that might have made that more apparent is that yes, I will 100% agree with you. There's definitely certain shit about each of those characters that's really goddamn annoying. But Reed highlighted this as well, is that we could never really like the Victus crew that much when we still had Richtofen quotes and Max's quotes and Sam quotes, and we had all these random quotes of our old crew. Because as I think Reed said this, and I would definitely agree if it was him or whoever, is I think what they were initially wanting to do was they were probably wanting to do what they're doing now, where they're like, we want to write a completely separate story that isn't connected with the Victus crew, but then they realized that they can't really do that because at the time Zombies wasn't able and didn't have the capability to do it, and then they were like, okay, we'll just horseshoe the old stuff back in, and then we ended up hating it because we're like, oh, we're hearing stuff about our old crew that we actually like so much more. Damn.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like Victus
Like,
not because of that, but because
they're underdeveloped.
they just weren't that developed.
That's agreeable, but you also got to think they had
Neither was
three maps.
Ultimus when you think about it.
Well, they were developed, but their development was very two dimensional.
And like Ultimus was like so badass. I think the only badass character in all of Victus was Misty, and even she was annoying at times.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it's just me though. I feel like with Misty, it was more just generally not necessarily her voice actress, but like I just generally didn't like
The way she was directed.
Yeah,
like
the
she had to, like, talk that
constant
grunge.
Don't you just
her
like
voice.
this shit? No, no,
No.
I just genuinely don't enjoy
No.
listening to her.
There was something interesting going on with it though. There's this one quote at the beginning of Barry is just like sounding all the breaths and stuff, but yeah, a character. So that was like something
Generally, I would say this about the Zelensky versus Blundell sort of argument is this. Zelensky is shit at developing characters that are three-dimensional and human and make sense.
Maybe that's like he was traditional zombies though. Without the story and everything like that. Not focusing too hard on the story and just going with the game.
No, exactly. He focused hard on the story. He focused hard on the story, but he kept it hidden.
That was good though, in the radios and stuff. That was good.
Yeah,
we had to discover it for ourselves.
Exactly, and and here's the thing: is so Jason Blundell is really good at developing these characters. To a certain extent, he's shit at developing the Ultimus characters because he's trying to develop Ultimus into Primus, but it's not working.
And he's trying to develop Primus into Ultimus, if you think about it.
Exactly, he's trying to role switch them, and we're all just like, no, you can't, no, stop it, no, that's not okay. But so that's the thing: is Jason is good at developing characters, but he's not good at making a developed story that has payoffs. Whereas
I don't think so. I think if he would have ended it at BO3, people would have eventually have been happy.
I disagree. People are still to this very day up in arms about the goddamn Revelations ending. People are still up in arms about the goddamn Origins fucking ending.
Yeah, but that's because when you think about it, the whole thing about what am I trying to say here? The reason people are so up in arms about it is because it's still going.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's the thing
if we
though,
would
is
have had
that
time to
Jason
sit
needs
with
to.
the ending, if we would have had a good amount of years to actually sit there and really think about it, would we have still been pissed?
I think eventually, if we had an actual ending, that we stuck to the ending, and then we have and we stuck to it, that eventually, and we had more. Uh, See, that's the thing, is the Revelations and Origins endings are so divisive as well. Though it's like if we had a better, and by better, that's a subjective term, but if we had a better ending that actually seemed like it really tied up every loose end, and we weren't left with these really really nagging questions and shit, then we could have gotten to a point where we were really good with that. But the problem that comes up is that if we were left with the Revelations ending the way that we had it, I think we still would be really pissed off. But I think we'd eventually get over it if we got Black Ops 4 and it was nothing but the Chaos Crew, or like the Chaos Crew and maybe a celebrity cast, and like sticking to the old zombies formula, but it had nothing.
I'd
It
like
was completely unconnected. We could
that. I
have
think that would be
eventually got
cool.
over it.
Well, that was what happened to Shadows of Evil, from what we thought. And then all of a sudden,
Exactly.
Easter egg happened, and then all of a sudden, boom! It was really back to that old story. It's like,
Yeah, and
no, we
and
didn't
and
need that.
the reason people were so up in arms about Origins at first was that it completely invalidated the fucking entirety of zombies, because they're like, what do you mean this entire fucking thing has just been a girl playing with dolls? Are you kidding me?
Hey, it wasn't just a girl, there was a guy there too. Guys play with dolls too, man. I don't have any insecurities about it or anything.
Oh my god. But like that that was why people were up in arms about Origins at first. And then it was because after we got Black Ops 3 and we started progressing Black Ops 3, it was like we don't like this ending because we don't understand it at all now. It makes no sense.
Well, now it makes sense.
Yeah, well, it sort of. Sort of. There's so many questions still about the children and
The
the
timeline
everything.
answered all the questions.
Not really.
Dude, like the souls are literally like the soul of Samantha is a soul in the NPD. The soul of Eddie is an innocent soul of Edward Richtofen.
Yes.
We still don't know exactly which Richtofen that is.
But
But
that's the thing. We don't know the significance of those souls after these events. So we don't know why there's an innocent Richtofen soul there. We don't know why there's a need for that. We don't know why we need Sam's soul from the MPD. We don't know why we need souls from specific random fractures that also, by the way, aren't our 1.0 versions. We don't know the significance of Zombie Chronicles as a whole, even though we know it's canon. we There's so many questions, which is the reason they
that's
have to
my problem with the
continue
zombies
this.
community. They're not patient enough to get a good payoff.
You say that, but like Treyarch's been
We've been
leading us
waiting 10 years.
along. Yeah, Treyarch's been leading us along to give us good ending payoffs for 10 years. Like Jimmy Zelensky was okay at giving us payoffs in the sense that if the game completely stopped at the ending of each of the things that he set up, it would technically be okay.
No,
Then
Moon
Jason,
pissed me off. Moon pissed me off to no end.
but
Don't
to
even give me that. Moon made me so angry.
but to
Like
be
they blew up the earth and that was it.
I
That was
mean,
what I had to
yeah.
sit with.
Yeah,
Our characters blew up the earth.
yeah, and that's a fair comment, because yeah, at the end of the day, that's a little bit annoying, because that's like even Dempsey says, "Wow, we did all that work just to blow up the moon. What the fuck?"
No, blow up
That's a
the earth. They
yeah,
blew up the moon with
that's
their
what I
eyes and
mean.
dropped.
Sorry, that's what I mean. Yeah, but
They
that's what he
blew
says.
themselves up.
But like, I
How
agree with
dare
that. But
they? We killed our characters.
at the same time, at the ending of Moon, the only question you have left is what happens to the characters after Moon.
Which we got answered.
We got answered how many years later? But
Eight.
yeah, but so yeah, we got that answered. But at the ending of Moon, that's what I mean. If COD Zombies was to end at Moon, you would have been like, the only question I have left is, what the fuck do they do after Moon? Are they just stuck there forever?
Yes, but then all of a sudden they weren't stuck there forever.
Delta, DS isn't canon.
What? What? You were? What? What do you think I was talking about, DS? What do you mean? They weren't stuck there forever, though, then, because they're in classified.
Yes, no, they weren't stuck in they weren't stuck there forever. But
They were teleported to the moon.
DS Zombies isn't canon.
What did DS say, though?
I thought that's what you said was if you play DS.
What? No! When did I say that?
That's what it sounded like. You might have lagged, okay?
I heard
don't
that
know.
too, honestly.
What the
Exactly!
shit? No! No!
DS Zombies, I tried it once. You know how much one door cost in DS
5,000.
Zombies?
Too
5,000.
much.
It was 5,000 points.
For one door. It was so
Yeah.
dumb.
It was fun.
Oh my
Totally.
god.
I would have rather played iOS because I was actually good at iOS.
Let me go see if iOS is still on sale.
I think it is on iOS, but problem is
Oh,
you
I
can't
don't
get
think
like World at War on Android, and I'm so pissed off about
I don't
that.
think you can get it on iPhone too.
If you have it on iPhone right now, you can play it. Actually, I'm gonna check that.
Call
I
of
have an
Duty,
iPod.
Black Ops Zombies.
Welcome to Lux Crew, where
thank
we
you-
end
No,
up
no,
all playing
Not the Black Ops
iOS
one. Definitely
zombies.
is still there. The World at War one is the fun one.
Oh yeah, we want to thank you for being valued fans and let you know that as of July 2018, July 25th, 2018, Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies will no longer be able to play. You can
No, the
also
fun
play-
one was the World at War one. The Black Ops one had problems.
Anyways,
Let me see.
lads. So
Honestly, indescribable. Oh boy. The last update was 2 years ago.
but like that's sort of the point, lads, that I'm getting to, is that even
Lead.
love or hate Jimmy Z character development, at each
Character
thing
development
where
went out
he
the
ended
window.
his stories, if you just ended Zombies right there where he ends them, you'd be like, okay,
It
I
would be
have
fun.
I have a few questions, but
I
I'm
would
not
love
sat there with like super big questions like,
What do
is
you
the
mean?
significance?
Everyone in the community would love it.
Like, okay,
Everyone
so
would love if we ended the story at blowing up the goddamn Earth. Goddamn
okay,
mountain.
everyone would have been happy with that, because then we wouldn't have got transmit.
No, they wouldn't have. I wasn't happy with it.
I would have been happy if we just got a new crew and that's it.
We did get a new crew.
Whoa.
I would have been happy if we got a new crew that was completely separate from the previous crew and didn't
I would
have
have been happy
that.
if we.
I know. Why did we get Dempsey's daughter and like 4 other people?
She's not her daughter. She's not his daughter.
I know that triggers you,
You
Lux. That's
sound
why I
like
said
a
it.
smart guy when you say that.
Fuck's sake, she's not his
Your
daughter.
laugh
God
sounds-
damn
Your laugh sounds like fucking smart guy. Good lord.
it.
Makes me want to punch you in the face.
Who, me or Lux?
You.
Both of you.
My laugh is nothing like smart guys. Get the fuck out
It
of
is
here.
exactly like smart guys. You shit.
Oh my god! But no. I honestly like remember that one line in Blood of the Dead where it was like, "Hey, there's a girl in there."
Guess who's getting World at War soon? By the way.
Lux.
Yes.
I mean, it's kind of easy to tell because like both of us have, you and me both have it, Delta. He's the only one that doesn't by process of elimination, you know.
Well, you know when he's, but you know when he's getting it. Who's getting it?
At the end of the week when you get your paycheck, calling it.
Maybe. Probably not. I don't get written paychecks anymore.
Oh, I don't know then.
No, they tried to. Oh yeah, so it's gonna be Lux, and he's gonna pay for it with my money.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna get it for him.
Okay. If you
Well,
if
you
you
can't
give me
get
the
some
money or
free
you
buys
gift it to
off
me or
Steam.
whatever, I'll fucking
I'm gonna-
totally play it.
I'm gonna get it this Saturday for you, man. I don't care.
He can't receive gifts until he buys something off Steam is the problem.
Oh fuck yeah. I'll just give you the Steam code then.
Send
He
send me money. Send me money.
He can't enter the Steam code until I've run into this problem with my friend. He can't enter the Steam code until
Yeah,
he
just
buys something
literally
off
you
Steam.
just have to
Like,
send me money and then I will
I
have
can
to
give
pay
you
for
the
it.
Steam gift card then, and I can give you the code for it.
Yeah, just like
That's what I mean.
DM me the that and then I'll just
It'll be
use
$10
that.
though.
just
so
make sure
that's
you can
enough
redeem a
to-
Steam gift card first.
It's
'cause-
enough
What do
to
you
buy
mean it'll be
World at War.
$10? World at War is $21.99 right now.
Oh fuck!
What do you mean $10?
I keep
and
forgetting.
at this moment, I facepalm.
You do not facepalm. Facepalm because of Lux. Because
Oh my
Lux is
God.
actually might not be incorrect.
May
I'm
not
not.
be incorrect.
I can send you a fucking picture of this if you really want.
So this is a story all about how my life got flipped turned up. I can't.
Okay.
I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. Hey,
Until
hi,
I screwed
universe.
up and getting rolled at where? I don't know.
World at Warehouse. It's World at Warehouse, okay?
You're
It's
gonna
actually
like the way
cheap-
it
the-
plays. I guarantee it.
It's the raw version of World at War, and instead it's at a Wario workshop. It's
No,
at a
imagine a
workshop.
zombies map at Men's Warehouse, like
Imagine,
connected to tie-in with like Men's Warehouse.
Imagine the Treyarch Zombies office map,
Oh my, that'd be pretty sick actually. If they had like
and
a studio.
Ultimus was teleported there, and we get cameos by Jason Blundell getting eaten by a zombie.
I so want to see
He's
that now, and
already-
I want Jason to record the audio too, where it's just.
Let's get
"Ah!"
Jason. Let's get Jason on the
No,
podcast.
Jason would probably like really be bad at it.
Let's get his bang 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 gun sound effects for his weapons. that he's
Bang
got.
bang bang.
Bang bang bang.
No, he's gotta say like.
I'm fed up now. You
fucking
can't
coming.
survive.
I'm fed up now.
I'm fed
You
up.
can't survive.
I'm fed up now.
Like Jason
That's
is the
the-
announcer. No, better yet, Jason's the announcer.
Jason's the announcer.
Bonus
This
points.
story has gone too far.
Bonus
Double
points.
points.
Fire
Double
sale.
points. I'm bored of this
I
shit.
I can't mimic
Oh.
his English accent very well, if I'm honest
Yeah,
with you.
no.
Double points.
It's-
What the hell is that for me? Call of Duty is back, redefining. Can we talk about the Zombies engine, by the way, and how outdated it is?
Yes, so that's actually a topic I
I
definitely want to
can't
talk
stay
about.
much longer, but I can talk about that.
Not just zombies, but Call of Duty as a whole. This is the same engine that they've been using since I think Modern Warfare 1, and then they just keep
Okay.
God, Lord, Jesus.
and then they just keep like adjusting it
Updating
slightly.
the graphics.
Yeah, they just keep
Aw.
modifying it.
Ugh,
Imagine if they started using Unreal. That would be interesting.
no,
They
please.
won't. They won't. The Unreal Engine, their engine is
Is that
better
the
than the Unreal
Fortnite
engine
engine?
at this point.
I'm creating my Wix site.
Yes.
You
Yes,
think
it
you
is.
already have a stunning
Okay, Wix. I don't want to see your advertising
website?
bullshit.
That's cool. You're welcome to
If that
skip,
sounded like
or
my voice, is that my
I'm a
video?
sucker for
Are you
medieval
promoting my
castles.
video on your channel? Are you gonna get different
Fog
gameplay of
rolling
World of
in,
War in
fog
the next
rolling
few
in.
days?
I'm a sucker for medieval castles.
I'm a sucker for medieval
Fog
castles.
rolling in.
He loves
I'm a
his
sucker
medieval
for fog
castles.
rolling in.
So did JD
Is
Rock.
that like a rap
rolling in
remix of him
medieval castles.
talking?
I'm fed up now.
I'm a
You can't
This is-
survive.
This is called the
Help us
Jason
survive.
Blundell song by Parker the
Jason-
Slayer.
Jason Blundell is a famous bodybuilder who was introduced
Yes,
in
yes,
the
he is.
1990s as a prodigy. I'm gonna see if Turbo has.
I'm trying to find that one because I know what song you're talking about.
No, I'm trying to see if like no, never mind. You weren't talking. I wonder if Turbo has a
Has a what?
Steam profile. You know.
Probably.
Oh, I
Oh,
don't
by
know.
the way, hey, everyone at the podcast, fans of it, we might have a new guest on.
Yes. So next week
Maybe.
we're going to have we're excited
We may
to-
have.
to
Where-
may
where-
have
where-
possibly maybe have
Maybe,
Your
possibly,
boy.
maybe have.
your boy Jay Brady Games on the
The
podcast.
Jam Brady game.
I can't find the song, and I'm very sad.
His name is
about it.
Jam. His name is Jam.
Jam Brady Games, yeah.
His name is Jam.
No, his real name I will not reveal until later on.
That's the name of the birth certificate, guys. Jam Brady Games.
I just told him that we would like to have.
So back
Good.
to the topic that we were talking about, lads, about the engine
topic
stuff.
that I must leave before because I'm gonna be.
I just want to make this quick point, is that
Quick
so
point takes
I don't know how, if you guys are big into Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft games, but
I heard the
used to
game
be.
wasn't very good.
Assassin's Creed was great up until
The new
I stopped
game,
playing
the new
after
game.
Black Flag.
No, I heard this new game wasn't very good.
Oh, Odyssey? I don't know. I haven't played Odyssey, but anyway.
After
why are we
Desmond
talking about
Desmond died, I kind of stopped playing.
Here's
Wait,
what
he
I will
died?
say. Yes.
No.
He does. Yes. Anyways, so here's the thing, lads. Is
He's the main
Ubisoft?
character.
Yes, he is a main character.
Aww.
Ubisoft hates their fucking gamers. This is evident by how they just decide to ignore them and don't update things, and they're just like, "Fuck
And how
you."
they kill off characters.
But here's the thing: at least they're better than Treyarch, because every 3 or so years they completely update their engine, and it's completely new engine.
you've made every little kid angry out there, Lux.
I mean,
Good.
I think the reason that Call of Duty hasn't updated their engine is because Activision won't let them. Like the Call of Duty developers. I guarantee they could update their engine.
They can't keep getting away with this.
I guarantee if any of the developers wanted to update the engine, they would.
Yeah, but I don't think they can.
It's hard to say though, because we touched on this last podcast too. Is that according to Glitching Queen and Russian 8703 on Twitter. So
yeah, I know.
Again, take it with a grain of salt. It takes a shitload of money and a shitload of time that they don't.
You can't trust Russian. Russian lie.
You cannot trust your communist Russian comrades.
Russian is the big dumb.
I'm the only one who actually believes that, because like it takes the time and effort and money that Call of Duty makes. You gotta understand that's how much money it costs to make the game itself.
Wait, are you believing my statement about the Russian being the big dumb?
No, he's talking about the fact of how much money it takes.
And apparently this game sold better than Red Dead 2. It was the best-selling game of the year.
So this is something I want to touch on. Cameron Dayton is a goddamn fucking instigator troll on Twitter.
What?
Because
I follow that man every day. So I want to see who that man is. And I see if he blocked me.
So Business Insider made that claim, talking about how Call of Duty Black Ops 4 outsold Red Dead Redemption. But in the same article, they say that the only Call of Duty game to beat out Black Ops 4 was the previous year, was World War II's in October of 2017. Which the funny thing about that is World War II wasn't out until November of 2017, which comes after October. So World War II was selling better before it came out than Black Ops 4 was while it was out, which is hilarious.
I just can't wait for Christmas.
I can't wait for Christmas noobs to be on the game.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I can't wait to be a Christmas noob.
That's what I'm saying, man. Dude, Knife Only is going to be so fun with Christmas noobs.
Delta, I can't wait to be a Christmas noob.
This is my first time being a Christmas noob, man. It's actually pretty exciting.
Dude, I was never a Christmas. I was never a Christmas noob because I'd always get the games when they came out.
I never did. I got Black Ops 1 in 2011.
I'm a sucker for medieval castles.
I got World at War in 2009.
Yeah, I got World at War when Doris came out, so right after it came out.
I got World at War on the Wii at that time, so it was a pretty good game.
I think Delta.
Dude, you only let me put my drink out. The Wii World at War was trash.
I think Delta is
beat the campaign on that, and it looked fantastic.
I think Delta is the ultimate World at War fan.
I am. I played 620 hours of that shit in a year and a half.
That's just on his PC. That's just on his PC.
I haven't played much on PS3.
PS3 was where I played World at War. That was.
I beat seriously
part of it.
I'm so glad I'm unsubscribed from Mr. Waffle Waffles.
Mr.
Oh yeah.
Ratman?
I just searched up on
Why-
YouTube. I just searched up on YouTube Jason Blundell rap. The second result is a video that Mr. Waffle Waffles posted 3 days ago saying Jason Blundell's quote impossible Easter egg unquote doesn't exist question mark and it's all in cap letters.
I'm disappointed.
Ugh! I'm just gonna keep scrolling past
I
that.
do like Milo though.
I
If I'm being honest, I know you don't like him, but I think
Yeah,
Milo.
I like him too.
okay.
Like
This
honestly.
isn't even true. It's not that I don't like him. It's that I don't like the shit that he does.
Yeah. Okay.
He did
That's
take
fair.
all-
That's fair.
He did take back all of his criticisms on Black Ops 4, though, and he had to rethink them and everything, just because they were a little bit invalid.
He was very angry. You could.
He was
freaking
very
tell.
angry. He was angry, but then he was like, okay, I thought about it, and yeah, I was a little too harsh.
Yeah, that one part where he said, "I would not blame you if you returned your Black Ops 4." But dude, calm the fuck down.
Oh, God.
I'm trying to find the goddamn. I'm trying to find the one that you and me were referencing, Delta. The little one that they like showed the feature of on that Z House video. I've definitely found it before on YouTube, but I can't remember what the exact title is.
Oh yeah. Did you guys see what Noah did last night? I think it was last night.
Did he break his controller again?
Are you
No,
talking, are
no,
you
he
talking
did a
about
charity
the?
stream.
No.
I was gonna
He should
say,
do
are
a
you talking
charity
about the
stream where he
video?
breaks his controller every time someone donates.
No,
stuff.
no, Noah did a charity stream last night where he did the 9 Easter egg solo, and he raised over $3,000 just doing that.
That doesn't surprise me. The dude has over like 3 or 4 million subscribers.
I
Somewhere in
know,
that
but
realm.
like it's amazing that he raised that much money in just one stream
Yeah.
for St. Jude's Hospital, and he's still doing E4C this either this year or in January.
Also, here's a weird thing. We have no information on that yet.
I know, because he said that like it's gonna be hard with Chris. He said it might not be till January.
Well, okay. To be fair, it was because of the fact that they didn't want to do it in the summertime because they wanted to wait for Black Ops 4 to come out because they
And
didn't
now
want to
Black
do
Ops
it on.
4 was really buggy on release.
Yeah, they didn't want to do it on World War II and IW only, so they're like, because of the fact that
And
they
they
knew it
didn't.
wouldn't
And
get
they
views.
definitely didn't want to do Black Ops 3 speedruns again.
Yeah, so
So we need. Well, now Black Ops 4 can actually do speedruns now, so that's cool.
Yeah, because like the Black Ops 4 maps are fixed. In fact, I actually might play
They
some
were?
zombies.
Really?
yeah,
the
they
blue screen issue
alle-
was fixed?
allegedly.
I haven't gotten a single blue screen in a while. I haven't
Allegedly.
been playing
never
the
gotten a
zombies,
blue
but
screen.
I've gotten a blue
you don't
screen
have the
since-
game, Delta.
No, I don't.
I've gotten the blue screen since that update, so
I have
that's why I
gotten
say
a blue
allegedly.
screen
There's a new
before.
one. A new one just came out today.
I've
It
got-
added the night variations of maps and stuff.
I've gotten blue screen.
Hello?
before in this game.
Hello, PlayStation? Did it secretly install and I just missed it?
It was a
an
it was an
Xbox
in-game
only.
update, like a hot
Was it
fix.
Oh,
Xbox
okay.
only update?
Okay, I was like, hello?
No, because look at that. It added let me see. It added night moves. Live now, seaside and firing range go dark as we turn off the lights. With its narrow alleys and multi-level buildings, Seaside gives you an opportunity to pounce on blah 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 blah. And the frenetic action of firing range gets you up a notch in the dusk.
Yeah,
What are you
I
waiting
don't
for?
know.
Jump in. Yeah,
I don't,
yeah,
I
we
don't
get it.
read
we
the
get it.
message of it.
Actually, who would love a map like Hijacked or something like one of those?
Also,
like,
Safeguard was added
maybe
into
zombie
the.
maps. Like get a zombie.
Also,
map.
Safeguard was added in the
Oh.
game mode Safeguard.
Think about that though. Like any of the
Hijack zombies, that would be amazing.
You need a logo.
Oh yes, think about that. Like or firing range zombies, studio zombies, something like that. You could have like aliens or something, or from like an enemy from any section of the room that's like a special zombie coming at you, like an alien zombie,
That'd be cool.
alien robot
Like,
zombie.
I think
Or
firing
a
would be a cool
T-Rex.
zombie rush.
Or yeah, you could have like the studio remake. I mean, you could have like a T-Rex or a dinosaur come after you, and like a robot zombie boss.
The really weird thing about pretty much everything you guys
And you
just
could have
said
a
is this
traffic
is stuff
cone
that
zombie.
has been done by other tabs, but nobody cared.
What? They haven't
Wait,
done
what?
They haven't done a T-Rex though. That would be cool.
No, they haven't done the T-Rex. No, but talking
Oh,
about like doing
motherfucking T-Rex.
talking about having
Bitch.
zombies in like MP maps and stuff. That's stuff that's been done.
Like no, but
No,
that's
I'm
been
talking
mods
like
for, like a
I'm
full
talking
on zombie mode. And like
zombie
having
rush on firing range. Imagine that.
Just
you-
imagine though.
Did
like,
you ever play the
zombies
mode
not
called
being
Horde
constant.
Point?
Imagine zombies map like multiplayer
yeah.
zombies maps being the zombies map, the multiplayer maps being zombies maps, and they all were in the continuity.
But
And-
did you
and-
play
and
World
Victus-
War II?
Invictus.
I
was
played
on,
World War II,
and-
dude. Okay.
and-
No,
and
that was a
Invictus
comment
on
to
those
Delta.
maps
I know you
too.
didn't though.
Wouldn't it be cool?
That
Would it be so
was
cool
a
if it's-
comment towards Delta.
I know.
No, I'd love it though, man. I really would. I gotta go now.
Yeah, I do too. This has been a great podcast, everyone.
I have been here for a very short time, but it was a good podcast.
All right, everybody. That was a lot of discussion and falling off the rails.
Yes, good.
Like always.
As always. I want to thank our non-existing guest, not Rad Austin 27, as
Not
always.
so rad.
Thanks,
Austin
Reed. Maybe
27.
we'll get you on the podcast next week so you can actually say something.
We wish.
But when we get him, let's not get grumpy Reed. Let's not get let's not get sad Austin 27.
No, let's get Sad Austin 27 in here. He's the best one.
Yeah. Then he'll never want to come on the podcast
Actually,
ever
no.
again.
It's August Patreon stream right Austin 27.
Oh my god, that's what we should do. We should all join in the
We
same
should
game.
make him angry.
We should
Yes.
no. We should all try and
World at War.
specifically join in the same game for a Patreon stream
And
and then record
no.
it.
as a podcast.
Hey
can't
everybody,
go.
welcome to
You
Lux
just-
Crew.
Then
Can
we'd
you
be like,
make the
oh
Discord?
god.
We have Reed use Discord instead and say that your mic is broken.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
Oh my
I can just
God, can we
record
do
with my
this?
Elgato.
And then you guys, like,
PS4
Lux, you have the
chat.
ability to move me into, like, lobbies and stuff, right?
I'm not an admin.
No, I mean, I said Lux.
I don't think I can. I don't think I have the power to do that. But if I
You
do,
are a mod. I think you can.
He'll probably like kick us out right away because
I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows.
We could disguise.
The
me
minute
as unknown.
we start saying, "Well, Lux Crew," he'll be like, "No, you're not."
Get the fuck out.
We can say as soon as we go in. Hey guys, welcome to Lux Crew.
He'll be like, "Nope.
This
I
is
knew this was gonna happen. No."
27, and he's actually Red Austin 27 today. He ain't an imposter this time, boys.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
All right.
We need to
Been a
do
good
this now.
week.
We need to do this now.
Yeah, we do.
Are we
Like,
still
like
recording?
now that they have the organization system, we're like we each sign up. We'll just stay in a group and then we'll get in. It'll be easy.
Okay.
I mean,
Are
exactly.
we still
Easy.
recording right now?
Yes,
Yeah, we
yes,
are.
Oh, I didn't. I thought we were talking off screen. Oh yeah. Okay. We got confirmation from our guest. He's excited to be on.
All right, sweet.
Okay.
He's
well,
next week after 4 at least. We can get a time from him later.
Fair enough.
All right. Good podcast, everyone.
Good podcast.
Wow. One. So we thought we'd go out with a bang. Bang, 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 bang. Whee. So we thought we'd go out with a bang. Bang, 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 bang. Whee.
I'm fed up now. You can't survive. I'm fed up now. You can't survive.
Okay. And on that note, that's gonna be the end of the podcast, everybody.
Oh no! Stop with this. No more. This is
Thank
like
you.
Yali thing. No.
Boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom.
intro.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on by the stream.
The
And,
stream. This ain't a stream, boy.
I've been streaming too much recently. Thank you so much for coming on by
I
the
have been
video. And this has been Lux Crew. This will be uploaded, within about an hour or so. Thank
Go
you
check
so
out
much
my
for
Steam.
coming. And we'll see you in the next one.